Welcome to DAI Headlines. I'm Anthony Carlisle. Thank you for joining us. Starting in 1996, the Tzu Chi New York chapter has organised an annual distribution of winter clothes. Volunteers call on residents to donate second-hand garments, no longer in use but still in good condition, for needy people. This year, in just 1 month, 12,000 items of warm clothing were solicited, organised and cleaned. Volunteers carried out 3 consecutive distributions in Brooklyn and the North and South Bronx. In total, 773 households received aid.
Here, the room is filled with piles of second-hand clothing donated by community residents. Volunteers organize the winter garments in an orderly fashion. The annual winter clothing distribution is one of the most important events carried out by the New York Tzu Chi chapter before the first fall of snow. Led by 80-year-old Yang Jingsun, volunteers categorize more than 12,000 garments according to size, condition and type. They have been doing this for 13 years now. In the bone-chilling wind that blows through New York, it's hard to imagine how you could pull through the winter without thermal clothing to keep you warm. The night before the distribution, volunteers load 300 bags of clothes onto the truck. This winter, volunteers are visiting Brooklyn and the North and South Bronx of New York City. Today, Tzu Chi is carrying out its third winter clothing distribution, which coincides with New York's first snowstorm of the year. Undeterred by the bleak weather, many residents have been lining up at the venue since as early as 6 in the morning.
I came here 7:30. 6:30.
7:30 also.
Women's jackets, kids' hats, ties and sleepwear. The scale of the distribution site is much like a superstore. This is the third consecutive year volunteers have carried out a distribution in the South Bronx. Seeing a volunteer of the same origin, this delighted senior from the Dominican Republic explains in Spanish that the pants she's wearing are from the same event last year. The clothes are very nice. You see what I'm wearing now, I got from last year. I took 3 pieces last year. This year I received 3. I also got a quilt this year. It is expensive. I couldn't possibly afford it. Meanwhile, at the distribution site in the North Bronx, a little boy is overjoyed with a blanket in his hands.
I'm grateful for the community is doing around here. Really helpful. And I'm going to put some change in the can for people.
Filled with joy, residents do not forget to make a contribution to the Bamboo Coin Bank before leaving. The acts of generosity help inspire goodwill. Tzu Chi is the first charity organization to hold winter clothing distribution in the North Bronx for 15 years. Inspired by Tzu Chi, local residents also join the ranks of volunteers.
We never had anything to happen like this in the community ever. So this is the first, and I pray it's not the last, the different coaches, So it was really warm. I pray you guys, come back, even next year. We don't know what it'll bring, but I pray that, you guys come back and be with us. Oh, wow. I gotta go outside.
With the temperature at -5 degrees Celsius, a volunteer carries a sack on his shoulder to walk Bolola and her 5 children home. The children require a large amount of clothes. Unfortunately, this winter they have love and warmth by their side. From Brooklyn to Bronx, volunteers aim to be each resident's personal tailor. For the volunteers, there's only one hope, that everyone can be spared the bitter chill of winter.
Those from the foundation and New Yorkers United for Change, we thank you, we thank you, we thank you.